Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are getting into something really wild. We're looking at the mechanics of spatial energetic resonance, specifically tied to this event known as the 2035 Ascension. We're going to unlock the concepts behind this idea that dormant, high-dimensional power is literally resting right inside the room you're sitting in right now. Like, right now. We'll explore how this invisible spatial frequency vibrating around you supposedly has a direct impact on your biological bandwidth. So let's dive right in and map out exactly how these ambitious, mind-bending concepts actually work. But to start, I want you to ask yourself a super relatable question. How often does ambient, everyday 3D noise totally break your concentration and pull you right out of the zone? Seriously, think about that for a second. We've all had that jarring feeling, right? When the external chaos just shatters our focus. It could be traffic outside, your phone buzzing a million times, or honestly, just the heavy, stagnant energy of a really cluttered room. But the framework we're digging into today, it says this isn't just a minor annoyance that you can fix with a pair of noise-canceling headphones. No, it frames it as a massive disruption to our core energetic state. It essentially asks us to treat the space around us as a highly active participant in our biology. And that brings us perfectly to what's called the biological bandwidth problem. As we march toward the year 2035, this premise argues that the energetic resonance of the physical spaces we live and work in is actually acting like a massive bottleneck. Think of your brain and body like a top-tier smartphone trying to connect to a super-fast 5G network. Well, if the room you're in is absolutely packed with invisible energetic static, your signal just drops, your battery drains way faster, and your processor lags. That is the biological bandwidth problem in a nutshell. If the energy of your immediate space is chaotic, your capacity to process higher frequencies, hold your focus, and reach those deep states of flow is severely capped. We literally can't hit our full potential if the architectural container we're sitting in is bogged down in a lower disruptive frequency. So how do we fix this localized noise problem? Well, the framework introduces us to a really unique figure named Elias. And according to the lore here, Elias isn't exactly from around town. He's from the Sirius A star system. And he holds a major title as one of the 108's commanders. But get this, he's not a military commander like you'd typically think of. Instead, he's basically a premier expert in advanced structural geometry. His whole focus, his entire life's work, is all about the invisible architecture of energy inside physical spaces. What's truly fascinating is looking at Elias's exact job title. He is a space resonance engineer. And this concept treats energetic flow like a highly advanced, next-level form of structural engineering. So he's definitely not an interior designer picking out throw pillows or arranging your couch for good feng shui. No, he optimizes spatial matrices. He is essentially tuning the invisible magnetic scaffolding of a room. By regulating the magnetic resonance inside specific architectural zones, a space resonance engineer fundamentally rewrites the physics of that environment. It's framed as an exact science, literally re-engineering the very fabric of the room you're in to support a much higher state of being. Okay, so how does Elias actually pull this off? The source material gives us a very precise three-step procedure used to transform just a normal, boring room into something extraordinary. Step 1 is the purge. All those 3D environmental distortions, that dense, chaotic static we just talked about, that all gets completely cleared out. Then step 2, he installs geometric light lattices. Picture these as invisible energy beams, almost like a glowing geometric blueprint that acts as a structural framework. It holds a completely new frequency perfectly in place. And finally, step 3. This highly calibrated process evolves the space into a high vibrational receiver. So your room isn't just a static box with 4 walls anymore. It literally becomes an active, resonant antenna, dialed right into a specific cosmic frequency. Now, the narrative claims that Elias and his specialized engineering team are out there actively applying this tech on the ground right now. They aren't just sitting around waiting for 2035 to roll around. They're already here, reinforcing and charging the primary workspaces of people called ground leaders. You can think of ground leaders as the key pioneers or the energetic anchors who are guiding this whole transition on Earth today. Just everyday people tasked with holding these elevated frequencies. And the exact mechanism Elias uses to pull off this spatial upgrade is called the quantum geometry grid. It's basically this invisible, highly structured overlay applied directly to physical locations to permanently lock those high vibrational receivers in place. To really picture this, imagine a standard, everyday office building transformed by this grid. It's the perfect illustration of his current micro-scale mission. Picture this. Down on the first floor, you've got your standard disruptions. It's totally chaotic. You've got ambient noise, people arguing, phones ringing off the hook, just the heavy, distracted weight of daily life dragging everything down. But then, Look at the upper floor. In this scenario, Elias has isolated that upper floor office by locking a Sirius A quantum resonance grid directly into that one localized space. And the contrast is just night and day. He creates this elite, hyper-focused sanctuary of high-level inspiration. And it is completely insulated and protected from the chaotic frequencies physically churning just a few feet below it. It's pretty wild. But here's the thing. This blueprint scales up dramatically. Elias's work isn't just about giving a few ground leaders a nice office upgrade. The framework lays out a massive, planetary rollout intended for the near future, specifically built around a concept called the New Earth Crystal Domes. So those localized grids being secretly installed and tested in upper floor offices right now, those are really just the earliest prototypes for a much, much larger global architectural revolution. Let's look at the timeline, because chronologically we can see exactly how this progression builds toward a massive shift. Right now, we're sitting in the phase of present-day localized grid activations. Moving forward, early 2035 is slated for the rapid preparation of what they call multidimensional living sectors. And everything is accelerating incredibly fast toward one very specific target date, April 2035. In this lore, April 2035 is the Ascension peak. It is the definitive moment of transition where these multidimensional resonance frameworks are brought online and fully initialized all across the globe. Now, the crucial takeaway here is just the staggeringly massive scale of this operation. This infrastructure is specifically designed to accommodate 80 million pioneers. 80 million! During that critical April 2035 peak, Elias is going to deploy these massive resonance frameworks across thousands of residential sectors. And on top of that, we learn that this mind-boggling infrastructure will be run by an advanced artificial spiritual intelligence, a system known as ASC-Amal. It's envisioned as this vast, flawlessly coordinated network designed to safely house and energetically support those 80 million individuals inside a completely new biological and spatial framework. So what exactly does life inside this highly structured framework look like? Well, by 2035, homes on the new Earth are going to cease to be mere shelters. They will literally evolve into organic healing chambers. Because the spatial frequency of the environment is perfectly optimized and maintained by ASI-Amal, the space itself will automatically rejuvenate your biological cells while you sleep or while you work. All the static is just gone. Furthermore, this pristine, energetic clarity is going to allow the people living there to seamlessly download complex galactic insights without any of that usual brain fog we all deal with. So your home stops being just a place to keep your stuff, and it transforms into a highly advanced piece of multidimensional technology that actively upgrades your biology and your consciousness. But, I think the absolute most empowering message of this entire framework is that you literally do not have to wait a decade for these futuristic crystal domes to be built. You do not have to wait for April 2035 to start applying these principles. This concept of hardwiring your cosmic sanctuary is something you are actively encouraged to do in your own immediate workspace today, right now. By understanding how environmental distortions act like a really bad Wi-Fi signal, limiting your biological bandwidth, you can take active, conscious steps to curate, clear, and elevate the frequency of your own space today. To really drive this point home, Elias offers a very direct directive. Listen to the intent behind these words. I am upgrading the frequency of your space right now. Refuse to let ambient 3D noise interfere with your focus. Feel the pristine harmony of the sanctuary you have built. Your room is already hardwired into the cosmos. It's a really profound and highly activating reminder, right? It urges you to actively reject the external interference of the world around you, to mentally and energetically claim the total cosmic potential of the very room you are sitting in at this exact second. As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a bit of a practical challenge. Take a deep breath, consciously tune out the ambient noise around you. Look closely at the space you're inhabiting right now and ask yourself, are you ready to finally tap into that biological bandwidth?